Welcome to session 5 of SPSS series, the introduction sessions about how to use SPSS. Today, the learning outcomes are the following. We will cover the methods of merging data files to already existing data files, and we're going to do it in two different ways. First way, we're going to add cases. The second way, we will add variables. Then we will save the data using the save options where we will keep some of the variables and we will drop some of the variables. And we're going to finish by using date variables to create a new variables. Okay, so the data set I will be using in this session are the following. We have the original data set that we've been using, which is the data pharmacist for lab. And this is the fixed one. This is the one that I've been using so far. This is going to be the main data set, and we're going to add to it variables and cases. The data set that has the new cases is called Data Pharmacist 10 additional cases, and I'm going to show you in a bit how this is similar or different from the original one. And then the third data variable is called a new variables, and I have a new variables that I would like to append to my original data set. So just as a reminder, the original data had, if we look at variable view, it had about 35 variables. Okay, so first I'm going to add the new cases, and as a reminder, if I look at variable pharmacy number and I sort ascending, the smallest is 5.2 and the largest for case 70 is 274.76. Now the ones I'm going to add are stored here, and their number starts at 1001 and they add at 1010, and they have exactly the same variable. So if I go to variable view, I can see that I have exactly the same variable all the way up to variable number 35. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to go to the original data set, okay, the one that has 70 cases, and I go to data, and then I go to merge files. I pick the option add cases, and then I'm going to pick the data that has the new cases. I click continue, and SPSS is going to show me that all the variables match. There's no non-matched variables. And then I just click OK. All right, let's go back to my data. And now if I look at the pharmacy numbers, I can see that I have 10 cases that were added to my original 70 cases. So that's the first part. The second part, we're going to add new new variables. So the new variables appear in the data called the new variable. And what is important here is that I have variables that I don't have in the original one. But what this data set has in common with the other one is that the pharmacy number. And I'm going to ask SPSS to use that variable to match to the original one. I'm going to sort ascending variable number starting 5.2 all the way to 1010. There's 80 cases. Go back to the original one. Okay, so again, sort ascending. Okay, and as of now, I still have 35 variables. I haven't appended the new variable. I haven't added them. Okay, so go to data, merge files, click on add variables, pick the data set that has the new variables, click continue, and it's going to tell you that you have this variable that appear in both data sets. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to put it in the match case on key variable. So this is going to be my key variable. I will put it down here, and then I'm going to tell SPSS that both data sets are sorted according to the key variable. And all I have to do now is just click OK. There's a warning that shows up saying that make sure that both data sets are sorted on the key variable. So just do OK. And you can look at your output just to make sure that there's no error. Go back to the original data set. And now if I go to my variable view all the way to the end, I have the two new variables that are added. Okay, go back to my data view. I'm going to go all the way till the end. Okay, so now I have these two variables that were added. Okay, so by the way, these two variables are date variables. Okay, so I went to variable view to look at them. Both of them are dates. One is date of birth. The other one is, I'm sorry, let me just fix that again. Okay, so one of them is date of birth. The other one is date of graduation. Now there's a way I can use these two dates to calculate the age of graduation. All right, so let's do it the first way. Okay, so we're going to open a new syntax, and in that syntax we're going to type compute, and let's call it age underscore graduation, and it's going to be equal, and I'm going to make the difference between the two variables. Now I may not remember the name of the variable, so I click on this table right there. It will show me all the variables, and I know that they were towards the end, so I pick both of these and I paste them. Now I can close, and I can see that these variables are here. Now what I actually want is date of graduation minus the date of birth, okay? And if I run it as is, SPSS will compute the time in seconds. If I want to turn this into actually years, then I have to divide by, well, I have 365 days per year times 24 hours per day times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. Okay, now if I highlight this portion and I click on the green triangle, all right, I can go to my data now and look at what happened. Well, you can see that I have a new variable called age graduation. Let's double click on it, and in fact now I have the age at the graduation appearing here. Okay, now there's another way to do this. You can go actually to your data transform, compute variable, and let's call it age graduation 2, just to make the difference between the two. You have an option right here in the function group called age arithmetic. If you click on it, we have three functions. The first one is the one we need. It's called dateDiff. If you choose that, it will explain to you in this box right there how to use it. Basically, it's very simple. Just use that arrow right there to put it up here. You have to define your second date. So I'm going to go all the way down to pick date of graduation right here, put it there. Then you have to put your first date. So that's the first date, put it here. And then you have the options of picking different units. The units we decided to use are the years. Okay, what are the different options? If you scroll all the way down, you have years, quarters, months, weeks, days, hours, etc. So we decided to go with the years, and I can either click OK, but I'm going to choose to click paste, and that means that this request is going to go to my syntax, and you can see it right there. So now in the syntax it appears as a compute age graduation to equal date diff, and then you name the two dates and you specify the units. So again, I'm going to highlight that portion and I click on the run, and in my output I get something saying that it was run and there's no error. I go back to my data, and you can see that I'm getting about the exact same answer in both of them. Okay. Now, if I wanted to get the age at graduation, not in terms of years, but rather in terms of days, then I can work that right here. So just gonna copy that command. I'm gonna change the name of the variable to age graduation 3, and here I'm going to request days, and again run that piece only. And here you go. These are the days that lapsed between the date of birth and the date of graduation. Okay, now the last thing, let's say I want to only save the age of graduation, and the ID. That's it. That's all I want to do. We have Then this can be done using the save option. So file, save as, and you have an option called variables. If you click on that, you can click on something called drop all, and by dropping all, I've dropped all the variables. So right now I'm saving nothing. I'm going to pick the variable pharmacy number, and I'm going to go all the way down to where I made these new variables called age, graduation 1, 2, and 3. And now I can click continue, and I give it a name. So I can call this the data pharmacist, let's say age graduation. All right. And by clicking save, now I have a data set that only has these 3 variables. Now to see it, I would have to go to my folder. Just need to refresh that. And it should be somewhere. Here we go. I will open that, and here we go. We have the pharmacy number, age, graduation, etc. Okay, so let's go back to our learning outcomes for today. Merging using adding new cases, adding new variables, and creating a date depending variable, and saving partially a copy of the data set. We've covered everything, so I guess that's it for this session. Thank you.